Okay, it's okay. We start with the movie segment and we call it Around the Movie Block with The Rock. And I joined Rocco today in the Long Beach Theater, very comfortable.
Yes, that was
And we
good.
saw the movie that just came out, Bohemian Rhapsody. And for the review of Bohemian Rhapsody, here he is, Rocco Pasafume.
Thank you very much, Howie. Yes, Bohemian Rhapsody was directed by Bryan Singer and it stars Rami Malek. It's the story of Freddie Mercury, born Farouk Balsara. He was a Parsi-born British immigrant who formed a band with people, with college classmates of his, and they became the band Queen, who became popular in the late 70s and early 80s. What I absolutely loved about the movie, I will definitely tell you right off the bat, was like the camaraderie of the characters. I think like you really got a good sense of how these four work together, like how, you know, it was like a family. They had this kind of, you know, very democratic kind of, you know, musical partnership, and I feel like that aspect of the movie was fun. I enjoyed that immensely because you really got a sense of what people love about Queen is that it's the whole silliness of Queen and how they just kind of enjoyed, you know, making music together. You really got a sense of that in this movie. And the other thing I particularly enjoyed was Rami Malek as Freddie Mercury. He really embodied this character, and that was some pretty big shoes to fill because Freddie Mercury was like such an inimitable figure, not just as a personality, I mean, not just as a performer, but as a personality as well. You really got a sense of how, you know, just of a giant he was, and Rami Malek really managed to live up to acting-wise, being able to perform as this guy. He got like the mannerisms and the charisma down perfectly. Where the film kind of lost me, actually, maybe I should also mention in terms of what I loved was the performances. The performances were like pitch perfect, particularly Rami Malek. Like he really embodied Freddie Mercury to the point where you really felt like he was him. Like, and that's no easy feat. Like every set piece that involved a musical performance, you were riveted, you know, like particularly when the band performs at Live Aid, which is one of the most memorable concerts that they ever did, was during the Live Aid in 1985, and you know, in terms of the music, you really got a sense of like why people continue to love Queen to this day. Where the film kind of lost me a little bit was there's a part in the movie where things kind of turn a little bit, things get more dramatic and more serious, and I feel like that was the only part of the movie that didn't quite feel as kind of fun, or at least kind of organically put together as the rest of the movie. I felt like like you could tell like that you know, they were kind of straining to tell a story. I mean, I get why they do these kind of things with biopic movies, because, you know, you want to keep it entertaining. You know, it's telling 20 years of history in a 2-hour movie, and you want to keep everything cohesive and, you know, flowing and all that. And then sometimes you have to kind of fudge up the facts in order to tell a story and make a movie more, you know, saleable to an audience. But I think like what they did is that a lot of it basically reduced this sort of great band into cliches, you know, like the whole notion of, you know, the lead singer's out of control, and, you know, the bandmates kind of abandon him a little bit, and then, you know, he kind of has this kind of come to Jesus moment. And, you know, I mean, I'm somebody who knew enough about Queen to really get a sense that it didn't feel quite as, it felt kind of cliched compared to what I enjoyed about the rest of the movie. So I feel like the movie it wasn't quite as uniformly good as it could have been, but for the most part, I thought it was a good movie. I think that people, especially if you're a casual fan of Queen and you like their music, I think you will mostly enjoy this movie. But I feel like if you're like a hardcore fan that really is like into the real meat of the band, or if you're somebody that didn't really have much of a feel for Queen, as, you know, with the band members as characters, I feel like you're not going to enjoy it as much as you probably would have liked to. I mean, I know it sounds like I'm being hard on the movie and kind of splitting hairs a little bit, but I just feel like you know, I mean, this is Freddie Mercury. This was such a singular personality, and I feel like, you know, you're going to tell a story about somebody that unique in, you know, in entertainment. You want to have something that really lives up to that kind of person, and I feel like it did its bare minimum, but I don't feel like it really went the extra mile that I would have liked in this kind of thing. I feel like it just kind of went the kind of standard route. I mean, I don't know. I know you saw this with me, and you enjoyed this with me very much. So, how do you feel about the movie? What outside of the sort of technical perspective, Howie?
I thought it was great. I mean, I think it captured what a brilliant artist
Yes,
Freddie Mercury
absolutely.
was, and and I think his talents, it showed. I mean, the way he wrote music,
Yes,
the way he was such an iconic entertainer,
yes,
the way he could get the crowd
to their feet.
On their feet,
Yeah.
clapping,
Right.
stamping.
Yes.
I mean, he was the ultimate performer, and
And that was
I
all
have a
captured very
little
well.
different take than Rocco, because I just feel that it was realistic. Because
Yeah.
I think that if you really look at most major bands
Right.
throughout history,
Yeah.
there's always conflict. I
Of
mean,
course.
you got to expect that because
Yeah, totally.
they tour constantly.
Yes.
Between writing songs,
Recording albums.
doing
Doing concert tours.
concert tours, it's going to be friction.
It's a grind.
So I feel that that was
Reasonable.
it was reasonable. I thought that they and also there were times during careers where artists want to go solo.
Yeah.
They want to do an album
Yeah.
by themselves, and
Yeah.
and I honestly that part really didn't bother me. I thought it was a great movie, and I
thought it was good too.
And I think the actor who portrayed Freddie Mercury,
Yes.
I would be shocked if he doesn't get an Academy Award nomination. I'm not
Yes.
saying he's going to win, but
He has every bit the potential.
I
think.
definitely feel that Academy Award nomination
Yes,
should
every
go his
bit.
way.
No, he was very good. I mean, like I said, getting back to what I was saying, I don't think. I mean, like I said, it makes it sound like I'm being hard on the movie, but I just feel like what Howie's saying is right. A lot of that stuff does happen. It's a common theme with bands and with biopic movies. I think where I felt it felt like everything was kind of exaggerated a little bit, and I think that a lot of it maybe did happen, but it kind of. I mean, I get that everything has to have a dramatic arc in a movie. Otherwise, movies get a little too episodic. But I don't know. Like, I just feel like with this, it just seemed like it was the only part of the movie that I felt I got kind of lost with it a little bit because I felt like it just was. I don't know. It just kind of ruined, like not ruined, but it kind of dampened the momentum a little bit for me. Like it kind of had this high and then it kind of went. Like it had this flow and then it had an ebb and then it went back to the flow by the end of it. So overall, I thought Bohemian Rhapsody was a pretty good movie. I think people will enjoy it very, very much, like I said. So overall, I give Bohemian Rhapsody 3 out of 5 stars. So thank you very much.
Okay, thank you. Rocco always has an interesting perspective
I appreciate that.
on
Thank
movies.
you.
So excellent. I'm sure he'll continue in
Yes.
the future with other great reviews.
Thank you.